Our next speaker is Vijay Krishnan, General Manager, RISC-V Ventures of Intel. Vijay's presentation topic, Enabling RISC-V for AIoT and Edge. Vijay will cover capabilities needed to address AIoT and Edge use cases and talk about how the recently launched Intel Pathfinder for RISC-V is helping the ecosystem. He will also share a glimpse into the 2023 priorities for his line of business. Please welcome Vijay Krishnan.
I wanted to jump straight into the topic, actually. So on the 30th of August this year, at Intel, we launched Pathfinder for RISC-V. And this is something that we thought about for about a year and a half. Our goal when we launched Pathfinder for RISC-V was to see if we could contribute on the software side of things in a way that would actually accelerate the already rapid adoption of RISC-V. And we said there are going to be customers who are on the cusp of making an architectural decision. And if there are certain things we can do with our product, with our offering, we just might be able to nudge them even further towards rapidly adopting this new architecture. So that was the thought process behind it. Intel Pathfinder for RISC-V is really about enabling the ecosystem. It's an Intel software offering where, by and large, we are giving things away for free. It's not, most of what we do is actually just provided free of charge. What we do, of course, is when customers want something very specific from us that's not part of our plan, there will be some nominal charges and so on. But it's very exciting. We see this as a way in which we can contribute to the adoption of RISC-V. And longer term, the adoption of this new open architecture is very, very beneficial to Intel as well as the ecosystem. So my colleague Bob Brennan this morning talked about the Intel Foundry Services view. And in this short presentation, I'm just going to walk through what we're doing with Pathfinder. So jumping into very quickly, I know it's late in the afternoon, so we want to quickly hear the sound bites and be done with it. So what is Pathfinder? Pathfinder really is this stack up that you can see in blue. It's got several things that we've worked on, and most importantly, I think the biggest effort for us was to make everything come together. And that's really the challenge with any new architecture. How does everything come together seamlessly? So what we did do was we firstly selected a number of different FPGA platforms based on capacity, so we could instantiate RTLs of different complexity or size. On those platforms, we brought together RISC-V cores, and probably even more importantly, we have started the process of bringing into our platforms other IP beyond the RISC-V cores. And this, I think, is where the value of Pathfinder starts to come in over time. Because now customers, when they have selected a RISC-V core and their final destination is a piece of silicon, actually have pre-validated combinations of different IP that are already working together. So your starting point is already an accelerated starting point. So just to get us going, in the beginning, we picked a few examples. One of the first non-core IPs we did was the Cadence Vision Q7 DSP, and over time, we've been adding to that library. Having instantiated IP on the FPGA platforms, the next step up was to ensure that we had popular operating system support as well as tool chain support. And all of this is brought together in a simple-to-use IDE. So it makes it very, very easy for customers at an FPGA stage to be evaluating the capabilities of RISC-V IP, also trying out different combinations, and having made the choice, we also provide the environment for early software development. In terms of why we did Pathfinder, why we think anyone should care, it's really three things. Firstly, our use of open source. We are using open source in as much as we can, and we're also providing a very, very transparent view to how we're taking advantage of what's out there. The second really important element is standards. When you look at how we've implemented tool chains, how we look at debug, all of those have been implemented based on standards. And then the last piece is ease of use. With Pathfinder, it's really easy for a customer to get an FPGA platform, have the IP be instantiated, and do the work that they need to do. So it all comes together in a very, very seamless way. Important to call out as far as ease of use is concerned is that second bullet point that says partner capabilities. That's really important because with partner capabilities, we've actually added the focus on being solution-oriented. And I'll talk in a little bit about what that is, but that really starts to make a difference when you look at how it gets deployed with AIoT or edge use cases. So when we launched, and our list is actually already bigger than what's shown from 2 months ago. So at launch, we had a very impressive list of companies that supported us. You can see Andy's on the top left, not just because they're hosting the event, but alphabetically as well, they're right up there. But Andy's have been a great partner. They were one of the first companies we spoke to very early on. And we've received tremendous support and encouragement from them. Already we have enabled 2 of their cores on Intel Pathfinder, the NX27V as well as the AX45MP. And we continue to look at additional opportunities over time. So Andy's has been a tremendous partner, and we're really excited about what we can do with them. What's important in this list is not so much just the names, but what you'll start to see is that there are companies here which you would not traditionally expect. So for example, what is a Checkpoint doing here? Or what is a company like IoTech, which is a smaller startup, not well known, but what are companies like this doing here on this list? So it's not that we just collected whoever wanted to work with us. There is sort of a method to the madness. And what we were trying to do here is to ensure that at an FPGA stage, even before anyone has silicon, that we can actually instantiate real-world use cases. So our goal with Pathfinder is, for example, if a customer says they want to think about having a Linux-based IoT endpoint product that uses Checkpoint security software that needs 1 MB of RAM running on Linux, and they want to also evaluate this with sensors from ST Micro, and they want to be sure all of this actually works before they make the decision to go in for RISC-V, we can actually prove that out. Of course, it's a big, bulky FPGA product. It may only run in double-digit megahertz, but we can actually prove out the use case even before the customer makes the decision. And that, I think, is the real value of Pathfinder. Not only can they make the decision, they can also continue to do early software development with Pathfinder as they actually go into the process of designing and building out their silicon. So that's where it fits in. And we were very excited with the ecosystem support that we had at launch and beyond. So just jumping into sort of addressing AIoT and edge and how we can add value. Sort of continuing on the same theme, as you go from the bottom to the top, there is more value for a customer if you provide capability on the higher levels of the stack. So if you look at examples with the Andes core that are made possible here, just focus on the top horizontal layer that says higher level capabilities. So we've enabled security. We're working closely with CryptoQuantique, who are also here at this event. You look at connectivity, cloud services. We work closely with AWS, Cadence, Checkpoint. All of these partners have been tremendous help. And to be honest, we're on a journey. The product isn't perfect yet, but we're making rapid strides every month. So we're starting to make things even simpler to assemble these things together. If anyone's tried to attach sensors to FPGA boards, it's not the simplest thing. You need to have the right connectors. You need to start making things simpler. So we're, in addition to everything we've done, we have ambitious goals for how quickly we want to make this even simpler, even easier to use. Every quarter we plan to announce a new set of features and capabilities that will be part of Pathfinder. So it's a very aggressive plan where we want to have incremental features come in very quickly. It's a product that's built by us, but that has a lot of ecosystem content. So we have very carefully laid out plans for how we work, for example, with a company like Andes that owns RISC-V core IP and how that fits into our platform. So it's really I would call it an ecosystem effort, not just our own effort. In terms of 2023, this is my last slide, so take just a couple of minutes here. I wanted to talk about 3 things we want to do next year that we think is going to sort of take us to the next level. The first of which is security. So we do plan to have significant additional capability on the security front. And this is, we believe, a big consideration for new RISC-V adopters. The second focus is around reference design. So depending on use cases, we want to have reference designs that start to mimic use cases and allow customers greater and greater sense of confidence for specific use cases. And then the third big focus is we want to also look at functional safety and what we can do with Zephyr. So Intel has been one of the leading contributors into Zephyr, which is an open source project, and we believe that what we can do with Zephyr on the functional safety front, that there's a lot of opportunity here around RISC-V. So we will be investing in building out these capabilities for 2023. And with that, I think for anyone who's interested to learn more, you can go to pathfinder.intel.com, and I'm certainly happy to engage with all of you or any of you after this presentation. So thank you.
Thank you, Krishnan. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back with Max Henson with Green Hills Software. Thank you so much. See you in 10.